I'm Ken Gilman. I impersonate a director of Clef Life. I'm also a practicing psychologist, and as a result, I am supposed to know some things about burnout and the like. And I'll start by saying burnout is an issue because it arises when passionate, committed people become disillusioned with work that has been meaningful and a source of identity. Things that inspire passion and enthusiasm tend to get stripped away and become tedious and unpleasant as those things kind of crowd in. I'll recommend my all-time favorite book on burnout, which is entitled Burnout, The Secret to Unlocking the Stress Cycle by Amelia and Emily Nagowski, who are sisters, one of whom is a PhD health psychologist or health educator. The other is a doctor of musical arts as a professional conductor and educator. And it's the best overall book on the topic that I know. I currently work with and supervise folks who work with primarily first responders, law enforcement, fire and EMT type people. And they are even worse than many of you people at being able to take care of themselves and avoid getting into that burnout dynamic, spending themselves in the service of others. So one of the ways you can tell if you're burned out is by asking yourself the question, do I feel burned out from my work? And or have I become more callous towards people since I've taken on this job or been worn down by this job? And those are kind of like the two hallmarks of burnout. And the building blocks of burnout are increased emotional exhaustion, having to work harder to do things that used to come easier than they do now, and having to push ourselves to do things that just are way less joyful than they used to be when we got started. And another is increased depersonalization, which means just feeling like you don't care as much as we used to, find ourselves getting more brittle, feeling more disconnected, or kind of running on empty. Our fuses get shorter. We find ourselves being less able to be charitable and tolerant towards people, and we're more irritable, and that can lead to angry, being resentful. Those kinds of things crop up in ways that we recognize are often just not part of ourselves, but somehow we find ourselves showing those things despite sometimes our best intentions to be otherwise. It's kind of like we're running on empty, and those fumes just don't carry us like a full tank used to. And another characteristic of it is a decreased sense of personal accomplishment. When it just doesn't feel like what you do matters anymore, or that anybody cares, it's feeling less appreciated by anyone, and finding it hard to experience that sense of inner inspiration and joy that used to be a source of what brought us into, especially the music making process to begin with. So taking steps to address and recover from burnout is not rocket science. You know, we're talking about some pretty basic things like, number one, getting enough quality sleep is crucial. Not only does it help our body feel healthful, but that's where the foundation for creative expression comes from, is the quality of sleep that you get at night. It's kind of important to eat decently. There again, our body is our primary instrument, and if it's not tuned and ready to perform, then whatever we pick up or choose to vocalize or whatever is going to be diminished as a result, much less the quality of interactions we have with others in that process, whether it's in ensemble or being a part of the team that creates the liturgy and worship and that sort of thing. Paying attention to your health, you know, getting those checkups, following your doctor's recommendations, etc. All those things are also a part of taking care of your instrument. It is crucial to experience creation and the sense of awe and appreciation and joy that can come from a walk that includes grass or trees or cacti, or in my case, roadrunners and lizards. That is also a part of what feeds the soul, and is crucial to having all of your faculties available for the creative and expressive arts that we're called to. Another is to tend and be tended by your relationships, friendships, people that care and support us, and maintaining and honing and fertilizing and watering those relationships is crucial to staying balanced and healthy. And one of the characteristics of burnout is that we tend to pull back from those things, and so we lose some of the very sources that can keep us stable and grounded and prepared to engage in creative activity. Being mindful about boundaries is important, because all of those of us in the helping professions are dealing with things that need doing that are way bigger than we have the time, energy, and resources to do. There's more to do in life than we have time to do. And so recognizing where our boundaries are and tending those, and when there are times, as always happens, that we have to go beyond and stretch ourselves in service of others, we need to pay attention and plan a backup that allows us to stop and create spaces to recharge. When we've been running on batteries for a while, those batteries have to get recharged, just like your fuel tank has to get refilled, or else you'll find yourself stranded on the side of the road somewhere. Part of that is knowing your limits. And another book I love to recommend to people is 100 Ways to Say No. No one else, hardly anyone else, has a good idea of what your limits are. And so you're the person who needs to guard those, because again, if you're too busy to stop and fill up your gas tank, you're going to be left high and dry on the road somewhere, despite your best intentions. Your body can't run on intentions any more than your vehicles can run on fumes. So learning to say no thoughtfully is important, especially when somebody that you like and want to help too and has big brown eyes says, "Ooh, would you please?" Or "You're the only one who can," and then they fill in something in the blank. And every fiber of your being says, "Yes, I want to take care of you. I want to do that to you." But if you're going to be mindful in agreeing to something, you also need to include a step that says, if I say yes to you, what am I saying no to? And you're saying no to other people in your life, or other things on your to-do list, or that extra hour of sleep that might be useful. So every yes that you use is also no to some other things. And you need the opportunity to mindfully weigh what you say yes to with what you're going to be also saying no to, so you can create a sense of balance in your life. Because what's crucial is to have enough of a reservoir in there to produce at the quality you expect of yourself and that others are accustomed to. So yes and no are the same. It's the same coin, two different sides, and attending to that in a way that's mindful or prayerful or contemplative or centered. Those are all things that are crucial. And so do that and you won't get burnt out.